Hello, hello, and welcome to Love and Lunch, your 20-minute weekly Facebook Live, 1 p.m. lunchtime in the UK on Tuesdays. I'm Joanna Keeble, your tech master for today. Just learning how to do this. Learning. I know what I did wrong. So a couple of things. So I am Joanna Keeble. I'm founder and coach at bigbeautifulboundaries.com. And at the end of this, I will drop a link to my Facebook group underneath this video, which is Big Beautiful Boundary Builders. And I'm really working with people on their relationship stuff, their life stuff, where you're feeling insecure, where you're lacking confidence and connection and communication skills that could just make things so much easier, right? And I'll hand you over to Jo Cooper.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah, I'm Jo. I'm a dating, sex and relationship coach, and I help women to identify what they want so they can have the type of relationships where they feel confident, they can really feel their self-worth and really start to come from a place of pleasure and desire, and how that can really impact that intimacy to create fulfilling relationships. And again, yeah, I've got my Facebook group at the end of this video. I realized I didn't do it last week, so apologies. But it's always on my. It's just
keep waiting, keep on wanting more.
Exactly, it's like dripping the juice. But I think I was so turned on after last week's thing. I forgot to do that, so apologies. So I will do it. So yeah, come and join my group if you identify as a woman and you'd like to come and have some support around desires and intimacy.
Lush. So yeah, I am absolutely buzzing because handling the tech side is not intuitive, shall we say? So yeah, I'm really, really glad that it's like, oh yeah, I got us onto Facebook. So today we're sort of going to have a little chat about something that comes up all the time online. Right. I'm in a few different groups where people are like asking for advice or looking for support. And the same question, doesn't really matter what community it is, the same questions come up, and it's like, was I wrong to feel angry? Am I wrong to feel bad about this? Am I allowed to feel jealous? So I wouldn't be surprised if I've mentioned this before, because it just comes up all the time. I want to get hold of the internet and get everyone in the same room and say, you're allowed to have your feelings.
I love that. I actually find it really challenging to have approval for my own feelings just before I start my monthly bleed. During my bleed, it's normally fine, but it's these few days beforehand that I'm like super irritated, super pissed off, super angry. And I'm like, I actually don't know what to do with myself. And I'm just like, and actually the thing for me to do in this spot is actually to surrender to stillness. And that for me is where my growth is to surrender to stillness. There's actually nothing to do in this place. Like, yeah, there's practices that I do, there's people that I reach out to, but this is the time where I just want to be in full hibernation. Full hibernation. Yeah. And I think that for me, like that is a time when I'll switch Netflix on.
Yeah,
that's the time I'll watch stuff that I call like junk TV or something. I mean, I don't have TV, but watch junk programs. And it's an interesting one. It comes up every single month, and still I'm like, I resist these feelings.
That it's the same for me. That's the place where I have the most resistance, the most gripping. And it's like my body does the same thing. It goes, and then I have to find a place of just letting it go and allowing it to take whatever form it takes. And I just have to accept I don't get to choose how it's going to look, just because it's just true. And until I accept that, I have a shitty time. Everything is wrong. Everyone is wrong. the world is trying to, get me. Nothing works in my life. Like as a teenager, I didn't spot my cycle coming, and it would just be like,
Uh-huh.
why does everything go wrong? Why does nothing ever? Why does it never? And so I'm catastrophizing and using like always and never. And yeah, my mind comes in and sort of conspires with my feelings to go, yeah, we can build up this really dark thought. And it's really convincing. And then what's really helped is tracking my cycle. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just so that I know it's coming, and then it helps me get a hold on my thoughts, and that it's like I'm about to go downhill all the time. There's this invitation to go down.
An invitation. There's an invitation, all right. I feel like, do you remember Cool Runnings? Where
Yes,
they're like, and they go down. I forgot what you call it on that, the big
the
slide.
bobsleigh,
Yeah,
the big
that's
slide.
it.
That's the
It
one.
just feels like all of a sudden, boom, and I'm in there. I'm
Yeah,
literally
it's
don't have
happening.
time to think.
Yeah,
I'm on the sled, I'm down the slide, and before I know it, I'm getting all this kind of like adrenaline rush, which is really all of these feelings which I get just before my cycle. And I'm just like, whoa, there's so much to feel here. And instead of getting overwhelmed by them, it's like just being. It's really deep practice of being. And it's different every month.
mm,
I'm not the same every month. I'm not the same every day. The
mm.
stuff that's continually shifting. And I think that's the thing, that my being last month looks different to my being this month.
When
And
you
that's
talk about
okay.
being, it feels to me like that sort of accepting, like you said, surrender, like the difference between like admitting, acknowledging, and allowing where you are, like, oh, this is
Mm-hmm.
happening, and making it wrong and sort of fighting against reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that is an interesting fight when you're fighting to not feel the way you feel, or to be wrong about the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and your monthly cycle is one place that can pop up, but it obviously happens for people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
in all sorts of situations, right? So I'm in groups for professionals. So they're saying, am I wrong to feel offended by this? Or am I wrong to feel upset about this message from my boss? And yeah, groups for polyamorous people, disabled people, transgender people. It's the same. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff happening, but that one comes up all the time. It's like, am I
Mm-hmm.
wrong to be upset about this? And so the answer is, for me, is no, but we've got to separate out. There's a place where we what's the word? We correlate having a feeling with something being wrong, right? So am I wrong to be angry with him? Usually means um is he wrong? Am I right that he's wrong? Right? So people are like, no, you're not wrong to be angry. He shouldn't have done that. He's wrong. It's like, okay, that might be true, but they're separate issues. How you feel doesn't need validating by somebody else being wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this could get into a weird thing of like, they're wrong, I'm right. But I think the thing that you spoke about before, actually, which feels more true, is like, where are you judging yourself for having those feelings? Like, people can act inappropriately all the time, and they're in this stuff and they do whatever they want to do. Like, it's life. People are going to have different behaviors, different patterns. They're
Mm,
going to express things in a way that might feel uncomfortable to us, or to you, or to whoever that person is. And I honestly think it's around like recognizing that, and noticing like, how does it really make me feel? Like, what is it triggering? Something that I actually don't have approval for, my own anger, or if they said something that actually it doesn't align with like my values or beliefs, and actually I'm going to have to step away from this conversation and keep myself safe.
Mm. See, there's another, the reason I'm bringing up this online making people wrong thing is because I think sometimes we ask the question
We do.
because we want approval
Hmm.
to be angry at somebody,
Yeah.
right? And that's the other thing when you talk about like, hey, people are going to show up the way they're going to show up. That's they're having their feelings and they're putting them on you sometimes, right? We all do that. We all
Mm,
lash out
mm.
sometimes, blah, 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 then go, sorry, I'm having a shit day. That wasn't for you.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
yeah, I think people can show up sometimes and say, am I wrong to feel angry about this? And if they get the approval of no, you're not wrong to feel angry, then they'll go back to their partner and go, I'm really angry. It's like, okay, those are two separate issues. Yeah.
Yeah, and anger is a hot emotion. Anger is a very hot emotion. And I think to be able to work with, once my teacher once said to me, actually, anger in its pure form can actually manifest in stillness.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was
I don't
so
know if everyone will get that.
beautiful.
I get it
I get
because I've
it.
had it.
Yeah, it's like
My God,
sometimes
that's
in the
powerful.
yeah, really powerful. And I think sometimes with anger as well, like there's a responsibility that comes with anger. Because if we don't take responsibility for our anger, we can actually end up harming quite a lot of people around us.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like if, anybody is a person who is experiencing a lot of anger and they are unsure how to work with that,
Mm,
then that can actually become quite problematic. Like it's anger, to feel anger is healthy. We
mm,
all need to have access to all these different emotions, but
mm.
it's like how to really work with it in a way that you can feel it and being able to understand it and work with, because all anger is, it's an energy. It's an energy that feels, I know for me, everyone's experience of anger is going to be different, but it feels quite hot. It feels quite, it just feels so hot. Yeah, it just feels like it's bubbling up like a kettle that won't ever stop. Like that is my experience of anger. But it's like being able to feel that and work with it. Like I'm not trying to damn it down or being like, oh, I never feel angry, because I'm just bypassing a load of stuff. And it's like, actually, I'm not going to bypass it, but I'm going to acknowledge it and meet it in that place,
Yeah.
because for me, that's really important
In a responsible way,
in a
right?
responsible way, 100%.
I think that's where people get stuck because you feel angry, you don't want to be toxic, so you go into shame. It's like, no, honey, that's a different kind of
Mm,
toxic. Now you're sort of harming
mm,
yourself if you're shaming it yourself. You don't need to add shame to your
mhm,
emotions. Or then you get angry, then get shameful, and then shame yourself for being shamed, and then shame, and then you get stuck in meta shame. So yeah, it's like separate things, isn't it? You want to honor the feeling, and that does not mean throwing your energy around and making other people feel bad.
or blaming or acting from a place of like self-righteousness or
Yeah, acting from that hurt place where you want to cause hurt,
mm,
but have the
mm,
feeling. So yeah, I what shall I say? It just breaks my heart a bit that people don't know that they can have all their feelings. If you feel jealous, you feel jealous. Do you know what's more true than whether or not you should? You do. And that you don't need to add a layer of
mm,
shame on top of that. That's how you feel there's a need there. Oh, that's the other wonderful thing for me was realizing my emotions are having a chat with me, right? They're letting
mm,
me know that I need something. I don't need to
mm,
get it from someone else most of the time. It might be a boundary to put in. It might be a little, I need a bit more attention on that to find out how I actually feel. What would
mhm.
feel good?
Yeah, I know, often know that when, if I can become affected by how someone else feels,
Mm.
I know that sometimes in that place, there is a moment to actually do some inner child reparenting, look after myself in that place. Because actually, if I'm getting triggered by someone else, then there's something else I need to address within here. And I mean, it's probably more of a longer conversation, but I think it still brings us to the place that you said actually around looking at a particular need, a need that needs fulfilling. Maybe
Back
we're giving
to
too much
you.
of our energy away and we're
Yes.
spreading ourselves too thinly. And so when we feel overwhelmed or in a place of like not feeling so balanced and someone's coming at us within us with their stuff, it's like, wow, we feel so spongy. And I know that for me, I cannot have, my boundaries cannot be as tight. You know, I can become more loose with my boundaries and my time and my
Mm.
energy. And so it's an interesting one to kind of think about and get curious.
Those places where it doesn't feel so easy to defend your boundaries.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yep. Even I. Right, and boundaries obsessed. That's because I've had to be for myself. I had to get
Mm-hmm.
obsessed about that to sort myself out.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to how I could show up without being da, 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 and without just
Mm-hmm.
being like, okay, and just take advantage and, without overgiving and to find out where is the line? Is there a line? And then what feels good? And loving into all those feelings.
Definitely. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Oh my God. Such a juicy topic. And yeah, we have come to the end of Love and Lunch. It's been so beautiful. If it's evoked anything in you, whether you felt triggered, whether you felt seen, whether you know that it evoked something inside of you, or maybe something you'd like to work on, who knows? If you've got any thoughts, any questions, please leave them below. Alternatively, you can get in contact with Joanna or I directly via a DM. We would love to chat and see what's coming up for you there. And yeah, it'd be awesome if you've got any questions on this topic. We're always happy to bring these into our next
Yes.
session next week. And yeah, what do I want to? Gosh, we're in May, 4th of May.
Oh, oh, may the fourth be with
With
you.
you. I know, I was just thinking that. Oh, funny. But yeah, I think I've got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up this month, but everything I'm going to be announcing will be in my Facebook group. So if you would like juice, flow, whatever your heart desires, like come into my group. It's going to be amazing. I'll post the link below. And yeah, Joanna.
Awesome. Yeah. So, man, there's a lot going on, but I am really enjoying my group right now. Just growing it, showing up, and cultivating some open conversation on some more difficult topics. And also, just, I mean, what for me looks obvious, but it's just not the way that we usually do things. So if you're walking around every day and just like, this cannot be the way that we do things, or why is this like that? Then come and get in my group and let's talk about it because I'm interested in doing things in a different way, in a healthier way. Because the way that we do things that I see in society, in our friendships, in our family, in our relationships, is really not it. It's not working for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to cultivate a better conversation and more connection and help people towards happier, healthier relationships. So I will drop that link below. And yeah, that's my first time leading Love and Lunch on the tech side. And I'm feeling buzzy and knackered. Yeah. All
Amazing.
right.
All right then, lovelies. We are going to live and leave you until next week. Have a beautiful week and we will see you soon. Lots of
Bye
love.
for now.